Okay, let's get this straight. Venom is not that bad. But I know that most of you won't just accept my opinion that easily and move on with your lives. So let's talk about what I like about this movie before we get into what I really want to talk about. Also, sorry, I'm fucking dying of a cold right before Christmas time. Fuck my life. This movie is really fun. Now, I hate saying that because it's really dismissive of how important writing, acting, directing, and editing is for making a tone or a feeling for a film. But despite the first half hour being extremely dim, and there being a ridiculous amount of deaths, the movie is really lighthearted. The movie obviously doesn't take itself very seriously, and it's kind of similar to Deadpool in that goofy tone, which is understandable when you realize that the director does really well with his comedies. I see a lot of people saying that the movie is goofy or that it's just too stupid, but I think that's the point. I'm not saying that superhero movies that strive for a goofy, self-aware tone always work, but one, Venom himself in the comics is kind of goofy, and two, for a film stuck in development hell for about a decade, and was overseen by this guy, I'm glad that we got anything better than average. Now, I completely understand if you didn't like this movie, but I really did. I don't know, I guess I just have a knack for being a contrarian when it comes to superhero movies. Out of all 7 Spider-Man movies that I've seen, it's smack dab in the middle between Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3. Okay? Okay. Now on to what really fucking terrifies me about Venom, and I mean that. Before Venom was even released, Sony announced at least 5 movies set in the same adjunct MC universe. Now, the reason that Venom works as a standalone character is that Venom is already a standalone character. He doesn't need Spider-Man to function. But when you then start bringing in people like Morbius and Black Cat in, it gets fucking ridiculous. If you take the Spider-Man villains and completely remove the one thing that ties them together, you get a cat burglar, a thief who shocks people, a thief in a rhino suit, a thief with wings, a mad scientist, a fucking drug addict. You get my point. Not everybody works as a standalone lead for a spin-off film. That's why when standalone spin-off films are made, they're made with popular characters that fans love, or in Venom and Deadpool's case, have wanted to see redone with more respect towards the soul of the original work. But in that second choice, you either have to have a really good movie, or you have to play it safe. And that brings me to my second point. Venom is eerily similar to Deadpool. Take a villain from a 90s Marvel comic that gets so popular that they become their own solo character, then take that adaptation of the original Marvel comic, and make an extremely successful, edgier, adult-oriented comic book spin-off film that will definitely become its own series. Except, Sony is a greedy company that also wants to play it safe. So what do? You take the Suicide Squad approach, of course. You edit all of the dark shit out of the film to make it barely PG-13 to make sure those young Spider-Man fans could all see it in theaters. And there's even a possibility you could be included into the MCU. Fucking wowzers! It is painfully obvious that Venom had an R rating at some point during its production, from interviews implying it to a ridiculous amount of ADR that doesn't even add up. And that's the scariest part. You want to know why Deadpool and Logan worked so well with an R rating and still made shit tons of cash? Because they were good movies first and foremost, and the studio had faith in its creators' respective visions. But nah, Sony says fuck you to that. Take that film that functions so well with an R rating and dwindle it down to a PG-13, you get more cash and a possible slot in the most lucrative cinematic universe on planet Earth. Then you greenlight a ridiculous amount of spin-off films without including the character that this world is based on, and you wait for the fucking money to start rolling in. And even Deadpool 2, one of my favorite superhero movies, you heard that right, is going along with this business idea as well. Sure, marketing plays it off as a cute tongue-in-cheek idea, but it's still editing a rated R movie down to PG-13 to get more fucking money. And even DC is joining in on this idea of standalone villain movies with an alternate universe Joker film. Now, I'm not automatically saying that it's going to be bad. Warner Brothers owns all of DC's movie rights, so the Joker movie has almost complete free reign and can do whatever it wants. But I'm still skeptical. And the reason I'm not upset about something like Gotham City Sirens is that they can use Batman or whoever the fuck they want. I will talk shit about Suicide Squad no matter how much I like that film, but at least it takes us chances to expand the DC universe. Batman is in like only 3 scenes to make it clear that it's in the same universe, but also use him as an overlooming shadow for the villains. But when you cut everything except the Joker, you get a thriller movie about a sadistic clown going around killing people. How fucking original. And that is a scary sentiment. The only thing that stopped companies from taking the wrong message from Logan and Deadpool's success was the R rating. And now that that's gone, there's going to be a lot of crazy, shitty comic book spin-offs. I've seen a lot of people on the internet describing the late 90s and early 2000s of comic book movies as the Wild Wild West. Almost anything and everything could get greenlit or possibly made. And I think that we're back there again. Because with the introduction of cinematic universes, alternate universes, adjunct universes, reboots, and remakes, almost anything can be thought of and be made. And that's just a little terrifying. Any fucking movie can be made with the smallest, tiniest connection to a famous character, and it can be seen as a spin-off movie. Maybe this is what we're always heading towards. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating. But in all reality, I'm just fucking tired. 7 out of 10, go watch Venom.